How's Kimba coming along? Well, I recorded a bunch more here, and what I've recorded up to, audio voiceover wise, is like 5 minutes away from the end, I think. Although, there's another thing I kind of have to look at to check to see if I want to include. One last fucking stupid thing. Okay. This is another fucking gigantic. Oh my god. I'm going to have to go through this. I'll show you what I'm doing in a second here. There are two properties that have been brought to my attention that have the name Simba in it before Kimba ever did anything. Which like if the name similarity thing wasn't just absolutely destroyed already, there's Jungle Comics, and then so Jungle Comics has Simba King of Beasts throughout many different yeah, from 1 to 68 and 74 to 129. This is from the 1940s. I want to know how many of these existed pre-19. Oh, okay. So this goes all the way to 1954. And then there's Simba King of Beasts, a documentary from the 1920s. Someone, somewhere. This is all public domain, by the way. So I'm just able to download these for free. Someone, somewhere. I mean, it says it's public domain here. Anyway. Is suggesting that Kimba was inspired by this Simba King of Beasts thing. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think it's worth investigating because that would be the most hilarious thing in the world. So the comics within these comics seem relatively short, right? So if we're going through, like, obviously the whole Lion King of the Jungle Simba thing, right? And in this one, it's actually similar to Kimba because they have hunters and shit, right? And then that seems like, yeah, there's a bit of blackface in here too. So that was literally issue 1 was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages, and then it goes on to like another comic. It's like a part of like a larger thing called Jungle Comics. There's Simba saving a little boy. That happens in Kimba. So it's like, yeah, like every single issue so far has things that, you know, according to the Kimba crowd, is just enough similarity if you apply their logic. This is spicy. What I should really be looking for is if there's any shots of the lions over top of a cliff. Because this one's almost one. Just have them like standing like on top of a cliff all noble and shit. Because people are like, oh, that's too similar. Oh. Yeah, episode 7, that's a similarity. Female lion gets caught in a trap. Simba runs, hears her and runs to save her. Simba climbs out on the backs of a chain of monkeys. So before I go any further, I just want to look, now that I'm thinking about that type of shot, I just want to go through this again and confirm. Because, like, there's some that are close already. Like, there's this one. It's not, like, exactly over top of a cliff or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised to find one in here. Because it's just such a fucking... It's like such a common thing. This is kind of almost a cliff shot there. He's looking out over the jungle. Simba bites and claws at the barbed shaft. There's a lion in the moon right there. Different context. But, I mean, so is the Lion King. That's literally a visual of a lion in the moon. Right? Is that's supposed to be a leaping lion, right? Yeah, he charges into their midst. That's like a silhouette.
Might be a stretch.
No, I'm not here's okay, you cannot say might be a stretch. You cannot say that because what I'm doing here is I'm not trying to provide evidence that Kimba ripped off Jungle Comics Simba. That's not the goal here. The goal here is to apply the exact same caliber of arguments towards Kimba in relation to this that the Kimba crowd does between the Lion King and Kimba. It's to suggest, like, okay, if that's a fair comparison, then what about all of this, right? So, like, yeah, like, there are tons of similarities here already, right? And they're no different than the similarities between Kimba and the Lion King, so... Like, the point is to say, hey, these arguments are stupid because if you applied them consistently, then you'd find that Kimba is equally as guilty, right? I mean, that's certainly what it looks like. There's a lion in the moon. It might be the sun, but... Because, yeah, then the sky is blue. They've got a spotlight, right? The sky is dark blue. They've got a spotlight. Yeah, nightfall, it says right here. And then the moon goes away, and then it's daytime. So yeah, that's a moon. That's literally a shot of a lion in the moon. Oh, a Black Panther character. This is a funny image. Oh my god. Furry's trying to kill her. A horse! That's not a horse. That's another wildebeest. It's just drawn like a horse for some reason. Look at its horns. Why is it drawn like a horse? It's funny how the blackface in this isn't even as bad as the blackface in Kimba. Like, it still looks like a human being, even though the lips are not flattering. Ha ha ha! Look at this one! Perfect. Yeah, so far every single one of these is pre-Kimba. I mean, come on. Simba, Kimba, suspicious. Oh my god! Only like 40 more to look through. Ha! Lightning starts it too. Literally a white lion, that's so funny. Ah. 1949. Oh, that's so funny. The original white lion. Ah, that's hilarious. That's so funny. Oh my god. November 1950, huh? November 1950. Very interesting. That's pretty late in the year. Okay, so the last appearance of Simba King of the Jungle or whatever, King of Beasts, the last appearance was 2 months before Tezuka's comic. So it doesn't even matter which image I include, they're all before. That's hilarious. I was worried near the end of it would get around the same time, but nope. Still 2 months before. This is like a Pride Rock shot too. Oh no. This is the funniest fucking thing in the world. That the channel name and description is the funniest thing in the fucking world. Yeah. Can you link it again? Thank you. That's the funniest fucking shit. This is the funniest thing. Anti-SJW. The opening to the 1997 Jungle Emperor Leo movie, based off of Osamu Tezuka's manga series. Yes, it is the lion story that Disney ripped off to make The Lion King. Oh, that's so funny.
Well, you know, pit bulls.
Oh, that's so funny. This is the funniest thing. I know just where to put this in my video, too. Oh no! Note to fans, I disabled the comment section because of butthurt Lion King fans bashing this media. Ah! Oh no! I didn't even notice that. Oh! They can't accept that The Lion King is a ripoff and thus needs this and thus find this to be a threat to them. And then, like, a fair use disclaimer, even though this is literally just, like, an upload of the fucking show. What the fuck? And then it's like, this can't be a troll account created for me, because this is uploaded in 2015. Literally just, like, fair use, but, like, zero commentary or criticism, and it's just the show. What? Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so funny. That Donald Trump picture is so funny. Oh, it's so fucking good. You know what's really funny? This Jungle Comics thing. So you look in, and literally it's also about, you know, King of the Jungle, and then he's challenged by another lion named Sleeta, who's like, I want to be king. It's like, okay. It's just more of the same shit. It proves that it's not really an original idea. Yeah, there's a comic called Simba King of Beasts from 1942 to 1950, and it ended 2 months before the first issue of Tezuka's Kimba the White Lion. Yeah, and I'm compiling the similarities to prove a point, basically. And what's extra funny about it, so like so not only is it like, oh, King of the Jungle, the main character is being challenged for the throne by a rival lion, Sleeta. And extra fucking hilarious. Let's see. I think in issue 120, let's say. There's an actual white lion. There's a white lion character. So it's really funny. Yeah. And so I'm just compiling all the similar shit. But the point isn't to say Kimba ripped off this comic. The point is to say that these types of comparisons are stupid because it's just common ideas and tropes, limited spectrum of what you can do in the jungle if your base concept is lions in Africa, right? So is that bees? They both got stung. This fucking like corn on the cob attack he's got going on. This whole like this fucking section that I'm doing right now like has taken me like over 2 days worth of work already, but it's gonna be so funny when it's done. This is gonna be like one of the best parts of the review, I think. Kimba, no! This is a hate crime! Look at this fucking bondage going on right now. This looks like it could be a furry image right here. Oh, that looks really similar. That's so funny. It's just like it shows just how fucking easy it is to make these kind of connections, you know. I love how I was able to like go to a specific episode from memory just to get the same shot here. It's like pretty much the same. Very similar. Black Panther on a branch facing the same angle. Like, so easy to do this. Which just like completely discredits the whole Kimba crowd shit, you know? It's just so stupid. Like, if I can do this with this comic in the show, I could probably do the same thing with The Lion King, too. This is hilarious already. I can't wait for this whole sequence to be done. Because this is so... I've always, like... I think this proves the whole fucking point I was making. This will be, like, basically the finale to the video. It's like... These types of things are just so stupid. Like, it's so easy to take two completely different properties and be like, let's try to find all of the similarities. The film in the savannah is so oddly specific. Yeah, you'd think. You never know. Maybe Tezuka stole from Simba, King of Beasts, or whatever it's called. It's entirely possible. Suspicious, right? This is so funny. This is so funny. It's turning out like the exact same as one of their videos. It's the same thing. I mean, Kimba? Simba? Suspicious. I mean, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Like, here, this perfectly illustrates, like, the manipulation of showing two similar looking things side by side. It's like, yeah, completely different context, but, like, you see, bigger cat...
to beddy bye. He'll be sure to return, and thank you, Adam, for entertaining us, peeps.
Thank you so much.
Peace out, First Scout.
You see bigger cat on the left and smaller mouse thing on the right. And immediately, just seeing those like side by side, especially when it's going by so quickly, it's like you're just like, whoa, that's convincing, right? Like when I looked when I was going through this scene on its own, I thought nothing of it. I was like, that's stupid. I'm not going to put that side by side. But now it's like, holy shit, that actually works. Not as a persuasive argument to suggest that Kimba ripped this off, but this works for what I'm trying to communicate in this video, which is just so funny. I had no idea that would work. I like how it says wah right here. Wah. Wah! This is so funny. Oh, it's so funny. This is the best. It's the same! Guys, it's the same! Kimba ripped off this random bullshit from the 40s! Don't you see it's the same? I'm having so much fun with this. Maybe I want to use this one because this one's a particular one where, like, you kind of have to look at the image for a while to realize that it's a butterfly on this one. Anyway, I want to, instead of using this, I want to go back and use the actual footage because this one just says copyright there and it would just look out of place when the other ones don't. But I know exactly where that is because I'm a fucking Kimba expert, so... And it's so, so funny because this is one of the shots that they used for, like, the Disney comparison with the specifically, look at this. This is with the concept. There was concept art of a white lion playing with a butterfly, and now it's like, okay, we're gonna get basically the same shit here. and it's going to look more similar. And this is something that wasn't in the movie. This is something that wasn't in The Lion King. Like, so basically, this detour of this comic book that someone told me to check out is a good 3 extra days onto the project, but I think it's totally worth it. It's gonna be so funny.
There's too many similarities that seem to go beyond reasonable coincidence. You know, if it was just a couple of similarities, then maybe you could pass it off as a coincidence. But there's just far too many. There's far too many, so the only explanation is that they had to have stolen it. They had to have stolen it. There's no explanation. There's too many! There's too many similarities!
What a ridiculous endeavor. We're almost at the end, guys. We're almost at the end. But, like, what a fucking stupid journey this whole thing was. Ugh. It's funny that these two share similarities that The Lion King doesn't. Like, the human element is much more present in this original comic. You don't get things like crashed airplanes or projectors or human beings or anything in The Lion King, right? It almost seems like this comic shares more similarities to Kimba than Kimba does to The Lion King, in ways, for sure. It's so funny because I think like what's especially intelligent about this, not to toot my own horn, but by this point in the review, because this is appearing at the end of the review, the exact same psychological effect that I was mentioning earlier, where you're familiar with one property and you're not familiar with the other. And so you see these images side by side, and automatically, in this format especially, and with this time frame in that format, your brain automatically assumes that there must be like a similar context to what's happening from the image you're unfamiliar with to the image you're familiar with, or vice versa. And so, like, these are just visual similarities, purely visual similarities. So, like, the elephants didn't get genocided. And I'm pretty sure this was from a different issue where he finds a dead elephant. Like, that's completely unrelated to, like, an elephant genocide thing. But you play them like this. And then there's that implication in people's minds where they watch this and they're like, wait, an elephant genocide episode happened in the comics? Right? But that's the point I'm making. Right? Because that's exactly what the Kimba crowd did. That's literally what they did. And that's what's shaped people's perspective on the entire Kimba versus the Lion King issue, is that people have an incredibly warped idea of what the actual controversy is. And the Kimba crowd has done literally nothing to try and inform people that their perception of this issue might be a little bit wrong. They've done literally nothing. They've done absolutely nothing, and they've witnessed it. They've seen their own comments sections. They know that people are like, wow, I can't believe the Lion King stole the entire plot. And they know that that's not true, and they've done nothing to correct these people, and they're perfectly fine with people believing that. I'm talking about the fact that, like, they've had years worth of these comments, and they've literally done nothing to be like, hey, maybe maybe the gigantic public perception, not just YouTube comments, but all of these articles too, that are like quoting and embedding these YouTube videos and using screenshots from them, and using screenshots with the Lion King next to the 1997 movie, and nobody does anything about that. Right? And it's like, what's your deal? I don't know. This is just too funny. They don't look exactly the same, but they look like close enough. I bet I could find people that look even closer to these guys, though, in the Kimba show. We'll see. Because it's like a quick flash, right? But it's like, I don't know, if you're trying to say Paulie looks like Zazu, then yeah, these two characters look the same too. Do I think Kimba ripped off this comic? No. There's just a limited amount of things you can do when your story is about a lion in Africa. There's going to be a lot of the same things.
I know I simp on this a lot to you, Adam, but your dedication to your craft is something I really admire. It's seriously amazing to me.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you notice it. Even though there are people that don't notice it at all. And they're like, how come it takes you so long to make a video? Fucking Leafy is here made a video a day. Why don't you make a video a day? Like, they're obviously the same.
Hi, here's the people that give me $5 or more. Lemonade Warrior, Diegesus, Rasmus, Mechadong, Brandon Stuper, Tequila Cinema, and Pit Wang. Bye.